What's up, guys? Kevin Cage back with another XRP update. If you want daily crypto news, be sure to like and subscribe, and I'm also going to show you an exit plan that I personally like at the end of this video. Let's get into it. So I wanted to start off with this viral picture from, I believe, May of 2019. We have Brad Garlinghouse, CEO of Ripple, sitting at the 9th high-level conference on the International Monetary System. This is SNB, the Swiss National Bank. Now, we've had some big news come out of there recently as well. We'll talk about it, but the thing we have to question is this. If you're brand new, if you've been here for a few years, you get it. Why on earth is some random CEO of a financial technology firm sitting alongside some of the biggest names in government, central banks, monetary authorities, etc.? Is it 100% all a consultant-like role, or is there more to it? And I wonder the same thing. And it seems the more you research and the more you dive in, the less it makes sense. So, nonetheless, excited, guys. Let's get into it. So we have SNB right here, Brad Garlinghouse alongside, I believe, I know there was a picture of a gentleman from the Hong Kong Monetary Authority as well. We know they have great relationships with SAMA, the Saudi Arabian Monetary Authority as well. Their new regional headquarters is in Dubai, and I'm excited for them to leverage additional partners and access deeper liquidity. And notice right here we have this. Swiss Wholesale CBDC trial shows feasibility for central bank money on distributed ledger, BIS says. Interesting. We can see here, launched by the Swiss National Bank. We saw Brad Garlinghouse there recently in 2019 in collaboration with the Bank of International Settlements. They call the BIS the Central Bank of Central Banks. Notice in the innovation, hub with Benoit, of course we know him, and then the Swiss Stock Exchange, SIX. Notice they launched XRP trading pairs in 2019 as well. So all connected, a variety of exchange traded products, ETPs is what they're called, and we'll keep moving. Notice 2 years ago, just painting an evident picture, and I want to talk about all these big banks that are getting into custody in crypto, meaning they're interested in holding cryptocurrency. So if you don't believe in the future of this asset class, the banks sure do, and I'm intending to move a lot, sooner before them. And I understand that they've been accumulating for years, don't get me wrong, but now in the United States, they can legally custody crypto assets. To me, long term at least, that paints a very bullish picture, all right? So BIS, decline in correspondent banking, is pushing people to use cryptocurrencies. Yes, I know this is 2 years old, and there was something I wanted to show you right here, directly naming Ripple and Stellar for cross-border payments. There was something very, very interesting. Right here. So we have one possible explanation for this is the rise of companies such as Earthport, that's RippleNet, and Transfast, both recently acquired by Visa and MasterCard respectively. So time and time again, we've shown connections between Visa and Ripple. We've shown connections, of course, between MasterCard and R3. So just showing you this, of course, all of this push towards digitization is getting people to stray away from the correspondent banking, where there's tons of intermediaries, takes 2 to 5 days to get a payment, and there's a 6% error rate, and it's extremely expensive. So they don't really have a choice. It's happening eventually, and my bet is the sooner that fintechs like Ripple keep innovating, it's going to happen faster. Next, so this is thanks to Alex Yeet. Thank you for sharing this with me. This is the Paris Blockchain Week Summit, actually today, December 8th. Notice. And it goes until December 10th. And we have some big players here. So the biggest European blockchain and crypto event is going digital December 9th through 10th, 2020, to bring you the latest insights from the industry, no matter where you are. We can see, we got CEO of Binance, CEO of Ava Labs with AVAX, if you guys are familiar with that crypto. Very interesting concept in bridging, essentially, a lot of these illiquid types of assets. And I'm talking about measured in the trillions. We have Stellar, we have, Tezos, we have Brave, we have Hyperledger, we have, PwC, no surprise, KPMG, another one of the big four, no surprise. These two have direct connections to Ripple. OECD, I saw the definitional frameworks come out. WTO, Blockfolio, and Algorand, another one of my personal favorites. All right, we'll keep moving. Right here, Roth IRA sharing this additional news with Ripple and their partners scaling. This is a good sign in success of RippleNet. The LightNet group will use Siam Commercial Bank, SCB, one of the biggest banks out of Thailand, as their settlement partner. Settlement is the key word here, people. This is what we're looking for. We're not looking for Swift GPI, Xcurrent, messaging, reconciliation. We're looking for settlements, responsible for dispersing and clearing. And clearing is kind of more so like reconciliation to Thailand, and will involve Ripple partner, Centbee, South Korea. LightNet is a blockchain remittance company in Singapore, another friendly jurisdiction. All right, keep going here. I already went through that. You guys can also read this if you're new. Ripple Insights page, just reading about Ripple employees, their customers, and seeing how they've had success. 2-minute video clips. you know, how fast they can leverage things like on-demand liquidity, which is XRP, etc. So all good and great. And remember, initially, Ripple, the company, is aiming towards these illiquid corridors, these SMEs, these small and medium enterprises, and allowing them to scale, get better customers, get further reach into liquidity, and expand overall, and just grow massively. Right here, so we have David Short, CTO of Ripple, guys. So Wednesday, December 9th, we see that he will actually be speaking with the Uphold CEO. So very excited to hear this. And again, David Short's the co-creator of the XRP ledger. So be sure to tune in there. And then also, just to note, Uphold is one of the participating exchanges in the Spark token airdrop. All right, so this is going to be a fun one. I actually would love to hear your guys' thoughts with this tweet. So this is X_Anders, definite follow. And essentially he goes on to say, I believe this whole thing will be a top-down development with cryptocurrencies and digital assets, just like the internet started with a few universities, then businesses, and then came down to us everyday people. That's what XRP and QNT are doing, with a few central banks, a few big universities, big businesses, and then it can come down and filter through the retailers. Bitcoin's trying to do the opposite, bottom down. That's much, much more difficult. This is why I mainly focus on QNT, Quant with Overledger, the operating system for blockchain, and even legacy systems, and XRP, since they have the connections at the highest level. Yes, they do. Their solutions are at a fundamental level as well. Liquidity, XRP, interoperability, QNT. And essentially, they both have a little bit of both as well. Now, I want you guys to name an asset down below in the comments. For example, something besides QNT and XRP. It could be, Ethereum and say smart contracts. It could be Chainlink and oracles. You could say Bitcoin, store of value, whatever you want. I want to see an altcoin and a specific use case. And I understand that it does not just come down to this. XRP is not just liquidity. It can be a lot of things, but this is kind of just a broad term. So I'm curious. And, if anything catches my attention, maybe I'll look into it. You could talk about, Singularity Nets or Fetch AI. I love all that stuff. All right. Next, Pakistan's provincial government legalizes cryptocurrency and crypto mining. So you have to be wary of these titles and read a little bit further. Typically, one of 4 provinces has passed a draft resolution, to legalize crypto and cryptocurrency mining. Interesting. We're going to pay close attention to this. And now some additional bullish news right here. So we have Coinbase, Genesis, and BitGo are all talking to Wall Street's biggest banks about crypto custody. BitGo is also talking to PayPal, as we know. Remember, 2017, we have written by Miguel Valles, BitGo builds enterprise wallet for XRP, specifically naming XRP. Remember, Miguel Valles came from CME Group as an executive, Chicago Mercantile Exchange, one of the biggest derivative platforms in the world. Why were they so interested, and why did they invest into Ripple early on as well? And we could talk about, what was it? Is it called China Rock Management? That is just a freaking behemoth. Remember, Ripple was meeting with the Central Bank of China, one of the BRICS nations, in 2017. This is all documented. We know that Ripple's met with Trump administration, the SEC, Jay Clayton. Happy that he's retired. Good for him. We don't need him there anymore. But again, just obvious connections, all right? So right here, crypto's prime brokers are expanding their businesses as more traditional investors eye crypto. Last time I saw Coinbase was valued at about $8 billion, but remember, their assets under management in Bitcoin grew to $11 billion plus, so I'd imagine that number is much higher. Just like Ripple, the company's last valuation was approximately $10 billion. It's been quite some time, and they've been expanding and obviously raising money faster than ever. I'm assuming that their valuation will be much bigger. If they do IPO like Brad Garlinghouse says, and now it's very conservative and saying within 2 years, it would not surprise me one bit to see a $20 billion valuation at all. All right. So we can see these firms right here are courting publicly traded companies, macro funds, and fintech firms with their services. They're also having conversations with Wall Street's largest banks. Can you guys see what is happening? They are painting a very evident picture. All right. Next. Right here, legacy German bank to start a crypto fund next year. And then remember, I'll talk about it in the next video. We had additional news with BBVA, and it's funny because I talked about them yesterday a good amount, and they're one of the biggest banks in the world and a huge RippleNet client early on as well. So we can see the bank will passively invest in large cap cryptos like Bitcoin, Ethereum, the one that shall not be named, they leave XRP out, and Stellar as institutional interest grows. Do you guys see what is happening here? XRP, the black sheep of cryptocurrency. All right, so I encourage you guys to look at all of this. Look at it from a high level, be cynical, whatever you want. Why are all these banks getting involved into crypto now? We already know that, groups have these entities and Fidelity have been buying for years. but why are they pushing it out right now? Question everything, all right? Now, right here, guys, and then I have a little rant at the end of this, but essentially, this is my thought on an exit plan. I get a bunch of people emailing me and asking comments, and to be honest, an exit plan is so different for everybody. Mine's always kind of changing. Like, I'll try to write it and set it and forget it, but basically, my exit plan involves, and this is just my personal choice, provided I have cash flow, and everything is well, I will essentially be holding at least 20%, maybe 50% of my XRP for life. I can take profit with my other altcoins that I'm holding. XRP is one of my babies, all right? So we have Dictator Know-It-All. I don't know why he keeps changing his name like that. Lionel, very smart dude, background in banking. And essentially he said, I won't be cashing out. Why cash out of an ever-increasing in value asset? And 100% agree with that, all right? Now, we just have to think overall, everything that we're seeing, guys, and I'll go back to this first picture. I mean, I encourage all of you guys to watch this. It's a pretty long interview, 2 hours plus? And this is on snb.ch, just for channel, if you guys want to look it up, or you can literally just type this in and find it. You have to understand this. This year alone, and ignore price. Price has been good, price has been bad, it's volatile, it's exciting, but we haven't seen anything yet, and we know that. This has been one of the best years of digital asset developments and news. I'm not talking about Bitcoin going from 4K to almost 20K, or XRP going to almost $1. I'm talking about true developments that will allow $1 to be nothing, to allow $1 to look like a drop in the bucket in the future. Ignore the volatility. There's obvious manipulation by the bigger players in this market that exists. You cannot dispute that, and we know where all of this ends long term. XRP alongside other digital assets that provide utility at scale. So you are invested into a protocol that is allowing fintechs, money, remittance companies, money service businesses like MoneyGram, the second largest one in the world, partnered with Walmart to save money and to improve their bottom line. That is what you hold. You do not hold some speculative asset. It is not 100% speculative. It is largely speculative, but that will change, all right? It's just like a pendulum. It will be shifting in due time. Also, we have Flare Networks now, guys, one of the largest airdrops in the history of crypto assets. And I know that's funny to say because, this market is relatively small for now, but there's huge potential, and there's going to be all eyes on XRP next week. All right. It's coming up very quickly. Well, technically in, 3 days. I don't even know why I said next week, but this is huge. More attention towards decentralized finance, more attention towards smart contract capability, etc. And also, guys, make sure you don't forget to put a comment down below with your favorite altcoin and its actual use case. Just like QNT, you could say interoperability, XRP liquidity, Chainlink, oracles, you name it. I'm looking forward to seeing those. Links are in the video description. I will see you in the next video.